Recovery can mean a lot of things, but the way I look at recovery is it's a loss of something and you're looking to find it, to gain it back.
It's a process of setting down that which is killing us and picking up that which helps us stay alive, brings us not only to survival, but to thriving.
I think recovery is a long-term process of finding yourself.
I myself am a person in long-term recovery. I was an IV meth user, went all the way to homelessness and back twice. By working in recovery now, there's person after person that I love that I've seen it be touched by, and now I also have my niece who struggles with it as well, so it's something that's touched my life in many ways, yeah.
It's in all families, it's in all walks of life. The process is really one of honesty, I believe, and relationship. We find those resources, and amazingly we make those connections that kind of take us to the next level.
In a matter of 2 years, from 22 to 23, I disappeared to California and was homeless on the streets there. I had a drug-induced psychosis. So I wasn't like hustling or making money or doing well. I was spare changing. I was that like barefoot, wild-haired girl who was talking to herself and seemed too far gone. I mean, people in the community in Santa Cruz, where I was at in California, thought she's never coming back.
We often see an individual suffering, and we kind of limit the scope of it as just that person. But it's a broad, traumatic experience for people that love that person and are involved.
I think for the individual, first of all, they have to be willing to get involved in recovery, whatever those things might be.
So the first thing they got to recover is the hope, right? And then from there, you can start to add all the other things in there, but they got to recover the hope. They got to get that hope back, that this is possible and that I am worth it.
By the grace of God, I was arrested. My dad was able to come out and get me, and it's amazing how it turned out. The judge was like, please never come back to Santa Cruz, California, and go with your dad to Missouri, and if you complete a program there, we'll release you from your charges here. So amazingly, I didn't realize it at the time, but I landed in Missouri, and the first thing I touched was Dismas House and Healing House in Kansas City, and I found recovery there, but I didn't know that I needed it long term, and I didn't know what it truly meant to have a substance use disorder. I hadn't come to terms with it being a disease. For the rest of my life, I will need support and the medicine and recovery support for the substance use disorder.
To try to describe it to someone else, it is a coalition, and it's statewide, and it is made up of providers that can be community-based, peer-based, faith-based, all types of groups and agencies coming together in order to form a network.
The time when I was arrested, I heard about Recovery Lighthouse and Warrensburg and this amazing lime tree house there. It sounded like beautiful to me. So I get to the Warrensburg, I get to the lime tree, and I found like my family, a new family, and my family, my blood family is amazing, but chosen family is something so much greater. And also learning about the community that was happening there. So I was insanely blessed to be beginning my recovery from that relapse at a time when everyone had to go to the Capitol to start advocating. And it really gave me a sense of purpose and calling on top of helping me recover. And I've been doing it ever since.
A recovery support provider is a person, they may not have used themselves or had the problem, but they've been impacted by it. And they come to an understanding that it's a disease, but there is an answer for it. And so they're committed to providing the services and helping that individual find that answer. And they're committed to not stopping until that process gets started, and most importantly, supporting that process endlessly.
I believe recovery support providers are boots on the ground. I kind of love that term because I think we've gotten so involved with technology, which I love and we need, but we kind of forget that it does have to be people.
Talk to someone that's living in a recovery house that's been there for a few months. Go to a commencement service. Go to those rituals or ceremonies where people are leaving the house after having lived there for 9 months or a year. Go see women being reconnected with their children. Go see men being reconnected with their loved ones and talk with them one-on-one. Because if you do that, and then you can throw all the research and all the literature and all the numbers and stats, but when you're in the room seeing that kind of stuff happening, it's so powerful.
I woke up and I was like, I am nothing but a homeless junkie. And it was a major prayer and reach out that I had. And I had been saying something during my relapse. I was like, I'm gonna turn 30 and I'm gonna go from addict to activist. And I didn't know how that was gonna happen, but I was arrested before I turned 30. I turned 30 in Lime Tree. And a year later, 2 years later, I'm at the Capitol, I'm working on recovery, and I'm an activist. And I don't have any idea how that would be possible without a coalition that makes that possible. You're home, come recover with us, let's get you something, let's get an answer, we'll call somebody, we'll find a place for you. These values is what I found recovery support providers to have, and they're also not asking people to come and pay for their recovery. They're saying, come, we've got it covered.